Khorolinsky a week before one of the biggest fight, not only in cruiserweight history, but in the history of boxing, 4 belts, gonna be win or lose in Moscow. But I'm gonna start early, like it's day after Dortiko's fight. What happened next? I mean, we know the fight's supposed to be in May.
Well, the day after Dortiko's fight, everybody were resting a lot. We were all exhausted, so took time off, rested, and waited to hear from Komosa what's going to be next. And shortly the word came, and we were up in Big Bear again, training and preparing for the fight.
Training and preparing for the fight, which supposed to happen in Saudi Arabia, if I am correct, in May. When did you guys realize this date, or Komosa realize this date will be not possible to make?
Well, we realized that this date wouldn't be possible to make after we were informed that Alexander got injured and that they're looking to postpone the event.
But still in Saudi Arabia, because there were already the rumors that the place where it's supposed to happen, Abu Dhabi, it was...
Our position was we were prepared to fight Alexander on May 12th in Jeddah. After we learned that he was injured based on whatever rules that Komosa produced prior to that, we were able and willing to fight whomever they would put in front of us on May 12th.
So all those speculations, because there were some speculations saying that maybe it was more than an injury, maybe Oleksandr did not want for one reason or another to fight this. You dismiss it as a not true, because there were some reports saying that.
There were a lot of rumors circulating around, but I would never take it upon myself to discredit and disrespect a great champion, an Olympic champion, Oleksandr Usyk, and use rumors instead of actual facts. So Komosa informed us that Alexander did get injured. They did what they had to do. They did their due diligence. And I refuse to believe that Alexander would use those type of tactics to avoid a fight. And as a matter of fact, everything that I've heard and everything that I've seen, it's also a very important fight. It's a big fight for him. And what I really like about these two opponents, that they're both class act gentlemen. They're both class act fighters. They're phenomenal fighters, and they come in with tremendous respect without any trash talking. They're actually showing that there is a place for a classy boxing that you can show on main television, that millions of fans around the world can watch and not be afraid to have their kids watching the same show as their fathers and mothers, etc. So I refuse to listen to any of these rumors, because people spread the rumors for different reasons, and I only believe what Alexander in fact says when he makes official statements. And to this date, everything's been in line with what's happening so far.
We had various conversations in between the Dortikas and now, and you always your position was always that you can have a great fight in the ring. You can sell the fight on the merit of the class of the both fighters. I'm talking about class outside of the ring and inside of the ring. So this is a perfect example that the trash talk is not necessary. But the other side of the business is, you know how it is. I mean, you live in the United States just like me, and it's so much about those extracurricular comments or let's say insults. Nothing like that haven't happened. Do those guys know each other? Did they have a contact? I understand you have a contact outside of being in contact with Komosa. You also have a contact with the team Usyk.
We do not directly contact Team Usyk. They don't contact us. We do know each other. I know Egis very well. Egis knows me. We have a great relationship, working relationship with everybody, you know. And I believe that there is a place for different boxing that can actually make boxing a mainstream sport. And you do not need trash talking to promote a fight that will have very little action. In this particular fight, there's actually two perfect fighters, two perfect examples that do all their talking inside the ring, and they've proved it time in and time out. Look at all their fights. They're both go in and they put in an amazing work, amazing performance every time they step into the ring. So therefore, I think there's other ways to promote an event, and I believe the event on the 21st of July is going to be a perfect example when it's going to be televised in 64 countries around the world, including United States, and when there's going to be...
This is a breaking news from Leo, because...
No, don't quote me, but I believe
United States,
the United States...
Every fan of boxing was waiting for those words.
That United States will see this great fight, and the sold-out arena of Olimpijski, which probably will sit well over 20,000 people, will be living proof of it.
I agree with you. So let's put aside those extra curricular stuff going on, all those rumors. Let's stay with the sports. Changes of the necessary changes that Abel Sanchez had to make because fight was moved. You staying in contact with him, I know that. Also with Murat, I also know that. I met him a couple of times in between. There's a big difference between May 12th and July 21st. What did he do in between to stay sharp, stay on focus?
Well, I think this question needs to be addressed to Abel, but one thing I can say that we have, in my opinion, an amazing team. We're blessed with an amazing fighter, great human being, and we're blessed with great people that came around, and for me it's just a humbling experience to be part of this group of promoters, managers, and coaches. Abel is a very smart and very intelligent coach. He finds his own keys and his own way to approach each fighter individually, and not only stylistically for each fighter, but also from fight to fight. So, and he makes adjustments and changes based on that on an ongoing basis without talking too much about it. Because again, I think Abel's work and the work of a fighter, it's kind of a joint effort, and they don't talk about it, but they like to display it in the ring. And that's been so far over the years my experience of working with Abel, and that's the reason why he's the best trainer in the world, in my opinion, and by opinion of many others.
Yes, but when we spoke, I think so 3 months ago, or even time flies, even longer than that, you mentioned about how special person Murat is. You said he's not the fighter who calls you every 20 minutes or every 5 days a week asking what's going on, what happened next. You guys have between him and he has a trust with everyone he's working with. So the special person who is not on your speed dial every 30 seconds because he doesn't have to be, correct?
No, Murat knows what he wants in life. He knows why he is doing this. He knows who he is. Although he's very young, but he's actually very, very mature for his age. And he has tremendous work ethics. And he is a true professional. And he expects everybody around him to bring in the same professionalism into the picture as well, regardless of what you do. So, and so far, I think it's been working pretty well for everybody.
Yeah, I would say.
And Murat is the kind of guy that's not very demanding. He's not a crybaby, and a lot of times, you know, you have to get things out of him, something that he would like to have done better, or if he needs something, you know, he's a humble guy, and a lot of times he's even he's shy about asking for things, you know, that he should be asking for. So.
Okay, so you know, one of that, not many guys who are doing this, because most of the guys are actually asking for more than can actually get. In this case, world-class athlete champion is behaving completely different. But this is how Murat is. Now the part I'm not sure. Whatever you can say, how this change of venue happened, because for a long time, you mentioned this before also when we spoke before, it's up to Kamosa. Wherever they're gonna put the fight, you're gonna go there because you are professionals. but it happens in Moscow. How this thing, how this decision was reached to stage such a great fight in Moscow? It's supposed to be a neutral site. It's kind of isn't or it isn't.
Well, what I'm hearing from you is you would like to know what actually happened behind the closed door.
Which you're not going to tell me because you are a manager and advisor. I understand this, but
in reality, I think people put too much conspiracy into the whole thing. I personally think that the event in Riga and event following that in Sochi were so successful and so great that people wanted to be part of it. Russian Boxing Federation expressed an interest and engaged in conversation with Komosa, to my knowledge, and was able to make a deal to bring this fight to Russia. It's important. It was important for the Russian Boxing Federation. It was important for Umar Nazarov. To bring this fight to Russia, and that's what he did. You know, they wanted Murat have a chance to fight for 4 belts in his home country. They did it. I'm sure Ukrainian Boxing Federation could have done the same thing, and if they would have, we would have fulfilled our responsibility and would have gone and fought Alexander in Ukraine.
Any knowing Murat as well as you know him, any additional pressure on him because it's being done in Russia, or it's just going to fuel him? Because I don't see Murat being a guy who is easy influenced by anything. He doesn't look like the guy he is. Plus, he is able to basically tell him the ring is still the same, but it's still the Russia. I mean, I'm not sure how many of those 20,000 plus will be Russians, but there will be more fans of Murat than anyone else. I've been in Russia watching him when he fought Lebedev, and I know how big following he already has.
I'm sure having an opportunity to fight on a home soil, having your own fans to be in a crowd is important and makes a great deal. But at the end of the day, I think Murat is focused on fighting one of the greatest cruiserweights in the history of boxing, Oleksandr Usyk. It's a great opportunity, it's a great honor, and an opportunity for the first time in the cruiserweight division to unify all 4 belts. I think that's the most important thing for Murat right now, and this is what he's concentrating currently on.
Because it's such a big fight, there are absolutely polarizing opinions. I read the opinions that Usyk is gonna show every weakness that Murat has. Usyk being such a great, talented, technical fighter. I saw opinion the power of Murat will be too much for the guy who could be hit, because Oleksandr could be hit. Brady's proved it. But I also checked, it's what I do. I'm trying to check what the bookmakers are saying. And I see a lot of people in the last week or so putting their money on Murat Gassiev. But forget bookies. But I want to, maybe you want to comment on that. But the clash of 2 styles is going to make this fight. It's going to be about the style or about the mental approach. Both of them are extremely strong mentally. Your opinion, privately. I mean, privately in front of the camera.
I believe this is going to be not only a combination of things. I think it's going to be everything that these guys have in their arsenal of things that they were able to accumulate over the years. This fight is so important. I'm so confident to say that, so important for both guys, that they will bring into that ring absolutely everything that they have, and they will have to actually go an extra mile and put in an extra effort and do something that they probably have never done before.
So no doubt in your mind,
I think this is
we're going to see the best Murat and the best Usyk ever.
I believe that these guys are there to leave everything in that ring on the 21st of July, because that's how important this fight for both of them.
Absolutely is, but there is one thing which I don't like, but I'm going to ask you about this anyway because fans wanted to know. I spoke with many of them. Not talking about Murat, but talking both of them. There's some talk that whoever wins this become a heavyweight. It's a secondary thing because first you have to win it to actually make any decision afterwards. But you think it's written already in stone? Whoever wins, or maybe both of them, will go to the heavyweight, or those are just a speculation, nothing more than that at this point.
I definitely cannot speak for the Alexander.
Yeah.
He has his team, and they're gonna have to sit down and figure out together with Alexander his path and his future and his career. But in regards to Murat, we do not like to discuss what's gonna happen after. We're right now solely focusing on July 21st to fight for the unification of 4 belts in the cruiserweight division and nothing else.
One of the reasons why I asked you about, sorry for interrupting, is there is also a talk about the second edition of the cruiserweight tournament, which will be possibly announced a day after the fight. Any comment about that? No.
On the day after the fight, we will be discussing and looking and thinking about what's next.
So,
I'm not trying to play this game and hide secrets. There's no secrets here. We are only focusing on July 21st right now. Everything is absolutely irrelevant. This is the day that everybody has been waiting for a very long time. This is a very long journey that Murat's family had to take, and the entire team. This is a very, very important thing for everybody involved here. So we're not gonna even bother spend a little bit of an energy to even think about what's gonna be afterwards, because right now everything is all about July 21st.
I'm gonna stay extremely on topic. What's the schedule of Murat? When is he flying to Moscow? What you guys want to do there? Without of course giving the name of the hotel, because we don't want our fans screaming in front of the hotel. But what's the travel schedule, training schedule? What you guys plans inside of Moscow when you guys gonna be there?
Actually, everything is pretty much normal, just like before any other fight. We're gonna fly in at the end of this week into Moscow. We're gonna check in into the hotel, and then we're gonna do the normal routine that you do before any fight. Open workout, press conference.
So there's gonna be open workout. Could you give us some dates?
I don't have those dates yet.
Okay, but they're gonna be open workout for public.
There should be, from what I recall,
Yes.
there should be an open workout for public. There should be a press conference, and there's going to be a public weigh-in.
So for whoever is listening to your interview, to our interview right now in Russia, and I know there's a lot of people, you possibly will be able to see open workout. It's what I heard. Open workout is going to be there no matter what. So let's see what we're gonna bring it next. But I'm gonna go a little bit back, because this, you said.
Besides that, there's going to be other things as well. The draw for the new season of Kamosa for 140 pounds and 118 pound division. That opening gala ceremony is going to take place on the 20th of July. Mm-hmm. And they're doing an amazing event. The Russian Boxing Federation is taking care of it. Again, Umar Kriblov is doing a phenomenal job with that. And right after Usyk Gassiev fight, on the 22nd of July, there's going to be a international day of boxing that they've celebrated a year ago. Now around the world, that day is going to be celebrated, and in Russia they're going to have again another major event. I believe it's amateur Russian national team versus German national team is going to have a tournament there, and there's going to be again a lot of celebration around boxing. So I know even there's some of the people that are attending World Cup are going to stay another week in Moscow to attend 3 days of work-class boxing festivities, exactly. And from what I was told, actually, Diego Maradona expressed an interest to stay for another weekend.
Wow,
so he might be in Moscow. So I might get to meet a legend, you know.
Yeah, it's okay. Then we plugged in Diego and the finishing thought, because you mentioned something which is very important, which is importance of this day for the whole extended and the real family of Murat Gassiev. It is what everyone around him worked for from the beginning. But asking you to finalize this interview with telling us how important it is, it was very fast to go from being completely unknown to be in the scale of the boxing, everything we know, very fast between unknown to one of the biggest fight in boxing. How do you guys did it?
Well, a lot is in the hands of God, I believe, and I think what happened here is a perfect storm, where an absolutely talented kid, Murat, from Ossetia in Russia, was putting in a tremendous amount of work, was surrounded by his family, his mom, his brother. They put in love and care, and he ended up in the right hands with his coach Vitaly Slanov, that took him from his childhood, and then support of Ural boxing promotion, Eugene Weinstein, Alexei Vasilyev, and all the other people involved there. And like I said, it was a journey. It wasn't somebody who happened overnight. It was a gradual process from fight to fight. He was improving until we got to the point where Eugene Weinstein said, we need now to make some changes to take Murat to the next level. And that's when we were blessed with meeting Abel Sanchez, and Eugene Weinstein immediately fell in love with him, and him and Abel, they were able to get that synergy going right away, and their views and opinions about Murat collided in a good way, and Abel and Murat formed an amazing chemistry. And it just, but the whole environment there is phenomenal. Look at Gennady Golovkin, and he's like a father figure for everybody, a role model. You know, it was just a perfect conditions. Everything just fell in place, in my opinion, for the right reason.
For the 21st.
Not just for the 21st, but in general. You know, so far, like I said, you know, we've been blessed with everything that happened, and you know, it was a great effort, in my opinion. Great effort. Like I said, everybody that's around. Murat is the kind of person that doesn't. His demeanor, his personality doesn't allow wrong people to be around him. Wrong people don't stay around for too long.
Thank you very much. Let the best man win. Let the fairness win. Let the best possible boxing win. Thank you very much, Leo Khorolinsky, Murat Gassiev advisor. Thank you very much, Leo, and let's have a great fight. I have no doubt we're going to have it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Beautiful.